Okay, so let's move on to previewing match week 5. The Premier League is going to be back after the international break over at ProSoccerTalk on NBCSports.com. We've got all the latest team news, previews, schedules, stream links. We've got you covered for everything you need ahead of this weekend. And gents, I'm going to start by talking about Everton against Liverpool. Massive Merseyside derby, as we said. Is this the chance for Everton to finally start to dominate or overtake Liverpool this season? It's been a long, long time since the blue half of Merseyside have had that. There's obviously other storylines in and around Liverpool with tier 3 lockdown situation in the UK, which means the city is the only city in England right now that has had extra restrictions due to COVID-19 and a big outbreak in that city. So all the focus will be on the footballing side there, but the local residents of Liverpool have really gone through a lot so far. But for Liverpool, it's all about, can they weather this storm without Alisson in goal? Is Adrian able to just put together a couple of decent performances over the next month or so to weather that storm? And for Everton, is it their year? We already talked about, James Rodriguez pulling the strings. You have Calvert-Lewin scoring goals. Richarlison, let's not forget about him and his impact under Ancelotti. And in that midfield of Allen and Decore are brilliant. And I love the balance they give this Everton side. So, Nick, it's one of your favorite topics about Jordan Pickford. Can he, again, looking at, can Adrian put together a string of fine displays for Liverpool? Can Pickford just be solid? And if he is, I think Everton have got a chance of beating Liverpool here, because I think all over the pitch, their players are maybe in better form. They're delivering a bit better, especially defensively than Liverpool at the moment. So I want to see if Liverpool can respond after that massive defeat to Aston Villa before the international break. How hard has that hit them? Has it hit their confidence? I mean, you're talking about players who won Champions League and Premier League, so in back-to-back seasons, so they shouldn't be lacking in confidence. But still, a 7-2 shellacking at the hands of Aston Villa, that's going to make you think twice about playing out from the back or doing things you usually do. So this is a game I cannot wait. Merseyside Derby is on Saturday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time on NBCSN. So that's the game I'm looking forward to most this weekend. And Nick Mendola, I want to pass over to the next game to preview. Manchester City against Arsenal. That should be a beauty, shouldn't it? From a footballing purist point of view, this is a great game to watch.
Yeah, sign me up for this. I'm dialed in, and the reason I'm dialed in is because every time we see, at least until they prove to us, until at least Mikel Arteta proves to us that he's either below or above standard, I love that he has Pep's whole last 3 years worth of mentality and game planning and how he viewed things. It gives me as his former assistant, it gives me this ultimate kind of rush of how are they going to come out there? I mean, you mentioned it before with our last matchup, right? Ancelotti has a great record against Klopp all time. And you look into that game where it's not just about who they pick to play, but how are they going to tactically approach? And this is the one I'm looking for. What is Pep doing? What holes does Arteta see? Arteta has seen Pep's preparation when he's had center back injuries and woes before. So he knows exactly what the B plan or C plan usually is. And the Pep is now thinking that. And is he, it's the chess, right? Is he going off of that? Or that's what I love about football, the mental side of it. And I can't wait for this one. Thomas, right? How is he going to look in his first game? Is he definitely going to start? And again, as I mentioned in our last show, this is a guy who Atletico Madrid was actually going to break the bank for. They don't do that a lot. So they saw his value. And how's Pep going to attack him? Because it's that's a challenge too.
Absolutely. And Andy, Tottenham against West Ham United, big London derby. Talking about players coming in, Gareth Bale could be available. What are you looking forward to in this game this weekend?
Yeah, I think if we were looking for a surprise team of the last 2 weeks, I think West Ham would probably be that one. The back-to-back results that they've pulled off, just absolutely smashing a couple of what we thought were going to be pretty good teams in Wolves and Leicester City. Again, the Premier League makes no sense this season, and so it makes perfectly good sense. But I guess with David Moyes coming back to this team, you have to ask yourself, is that good? Is that a good thing? Alan Irvine, the last couple, Nick, you're shaking your head there, but I kind of agree. And I know that he's been fairly hands-on and kind of, setting up training and the tactics and everything, communicating to Irvine. But what if it's just a bit of, the source of the voice is kind of the problem there for that team and for that club. And just getting somebody else in there for a couple of weeks kind of refreshed everything and gave everybody a new feeling, kind of a new lease on life, if you will. And that's gotten a couple of really good performances out of them. Now, they've been still fairly kind of Moyes-esque defensive, sitting a lot deeper. We're going to just destroy you on the counterattack, but they've actually destroyed teams on the counterattack. And so that's a little bit different than what we've seen from West Ham the last kind of, full season or so that Moyes has been in charge. It's been pretty stale for the most part with him kind of leading that team. And so I'm just curious if this is something that's going to stick around. They've got another really good chance against a good team to kind of reprove themselves once again and show like, hey, this is actually for real. I think Pablo Fornals has been one of the standout players of the season so far. I've had the, I guess you could say, privilege of covering the last couple of games for West Ham, and he's stood out head and shoulders above everyone else. And I know Jared Bowen is getting credit, for a lot of the goals, and Mikel Antonio has played really well, but Fornals has done everything on both sides of the ball for that team. And so he's going to be really, really important. And how that new Spurs midfield with Ndombele kind of settling into it is going to handle him. And then for Spurs, I think the big thing everybody wants to know, is Gareth Bale going to play? I would imagine he's on the bench. Mourinho's been very complimentary of how he's looked in training. And I know it's a team, provided video and everything, but the finishing looked really good with that left foot coming in off the right side. And it just gives you a hope and an idea of Bale on that side, Son on that side, Kane in the middle. Doesn't matter who's behind, they're going to score a ton of goals, and they're going to be really, really fun to watch. That's going to be a team that can break you down if you sit in deep defensively the way that West Ham will, but they're also going to be a team that's got some pace and a little bit of athleticism and good vision as well. That's one thing about counterattacking that we look past is it takes really good vision and high IQ to run a counterattack well in the Premier League. And they have that in just about everybody in that team. And so, this is going to be a really interesting challenge for both teams kind of in, different ways.
Absolutely. And week 5 in the Premier League is coming up again on ProSoccerTalk and NBCSports.com. We will have you covered, everything you need, how to watch the games. And my goodness, we cannot wait for it to come back.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe. Make sure you subscribe to watch highlights all season long and always join us every weekend at 7 a.m. on NBCSN for Premier League mornings. Plus, make sure you subscribe to Peacock Premium as well, where you can watch exclusively live 175 games and same-day on-demand replays of all 380 Premier League matches as well.